Have you ever seen this funky looking fruit before? Isn't that really unique? Would you believe the common name for this is hairy balls? I wonder who thought that up. This is Rambutan. And I'm Elise with Concerning Gardens and More. Thanks for stopping by. I'm on the cusp in U.S. Planting Zone 10A 9B. This is a tropical subtropical fruit. I have grown them in the past, and I'll put a photo of some of the little seedlings up. Now, how to pronounce this fruit is one of those little things that's going to change from where you're at. Look at that. It's like a big pearl emerging out of this hairy ball. And by the way, these are really soft. They are not spiny. You could handle them with your hands. It is not recommended that you eat these though, and you want to keep them away from your animals. Although you may find some websites that says, oh, it's okay to eat them. Please do your research. All right, so this is what we want. This sweet, juicy glob of goodness. It is a dense fruit. It tastes something like a sweet grape, and the consistency is something like a grape. And it has a big seed in it, and we've already been eating on some. So what I want to do is take these out, save the fruit if I can, but we have eaten and eaten and eaten, so what I really want is the seed. Everything's been washed and sterilized. Look how juicy. These are actually a little past the ripe date, but that's what I wanted. So that the seed is ready to come out. Isn't that neat? Look at the size of that seed. The best way to propagate this fruit is from seed, or you can do cuttings, or you can do grafting. As you can tell, this one is really ripe. It's okay. Gives your seed a better chance of germinating. The name. Okay. if I didn't start that before, let's talk about the name just a moment. There are some common names for this, but on the internet you're going to find various spots that says Rambutan, Rambutan, all kind of little different ways to pronounce it. The one I found the most was Rambutan, R-A-M-B-O-O-T-A-N. Although I did find lots of places where they were calling it Rambutan. So neat, huh? Call it basically whatever you want to call it. If you're growing it for yourself, call it anything you want. Give it its own little name. Now, if these are peeling off really, really easy because they are overripe. If they weren't peeling off easy, what you could do is just take the knife and go down the natural seam. And I'll show you in just a moment. Or I'll show you right now. I'm not going to hold you on the camera forever while I do these. All right, there is a natural seam here, and you would just take your knife and go down that natural seam, and it would cut open for you. See how easy? You can put the shells into your compost pile. They will eventually break down. Don't give them to your animals. Don't give the seeds to your animals. And there is different opinions on if humans should eat the seed or this hairy material. Very, very nutritious. Extremely nutritious. Okay. The flesh is good for the animals. Just take the seeds out. All right, so I've got those done. Now what I'm going to do is two different methods. I have a container, trade gallon size, prepared. It has all-purpose potting soil in it with lots of composted material. I've wet it very well. Now I'm just going to plant the seeds. I'm going to lay them down on their side and just tuck them in. It's that easy. Now, when I finish these, what I'm going to do, these 4, I'm going to put in the wet paper towel method. Okay, I have these 4, the seeds out of the flesh. And so now I have 4 in a pot. Neat, huh? So this is the wet paper towel method, just a damp paper towel. Fold it over on them. Put it in a bag. Label your bag. Put your bag someplace warm. Don't let your bag dry out. Check it every few days. That's it. For this, I'm just coming back, lightly depressing, making sure I have good seed to soil contact. Put my label on. Now I'm going to water this very well. Or, since we're getting some rain right now, I'll just set it out because rainwater is so good for it. Well, I'm finally back. Our little rain shower turned into a torrential thunderstorm. But there are a few little important things I want to share with you about Rambutan that might help you be more successful at growing the plant and also address some of your expectations. First, the seed itself is classed as recalcitrant, which just means it won't hold its viability. You need to plant the seed as soon as possible. And the other day when I took the seeds out of the flesh, I just wiped them off and put them immediately in the wet paper towel method. In the same way here, I just wiped the seeds off and I went ahead and planted them. There's no need to soak rambutan seeds. You cannot store them. They will not hold up to be stored, dried out, or frozen. If you can't plant your seeds right away, go ahead and put them in a wet or damp medium and put them in a plastic bag and try to save them for a little bit. So that's very important. Plant your seeds as soon as you possibly can. Next, rambutan takes anywhere from 3 to 10 years from seed to produce fruit. Don't let that dissuade you. Depending upon the plant, how happy it is, how tenacious you are about taking care of that, which I mean you never let your plant go hungry, you never let your plant go thirsty. You can cut those years down some, maybe 3 to 5 years, which is not bad for a fruit tree. Next, make sure you know where you're going to plant the final plant. Rambutan does not like to be moved, has a very long taproot. Give it lots of room, full sun, not near any structures. So kind of plant it out as a specimen piece. Now later on you can come back and put smaller shrubs and plants around the base. Now, very important here, rambutan comes in 3 sexes, male, female, and bisexual. And this isn't anything new in the plant kingdom. Papaya does the same thing. Lots of plants do it. The male produces pollen, no fruit. The female produces the ovary that can grow into a fruit if it is pollinated. Now, some species of plants will go ahead and grow out a fruit, the female. But it may not be very good. It could be hard and there won't be any seeds in it. It's that pollination from the male that goes ahead and gives you a good fruit. The third version is the bisexual, and that has male and female parts on the same tree, and that's what basically everybody wants. Now, if you buy a rambutan tree from a nursery, it's going to be a grafted tree. So you don't have to worry about if it's male, female, or bisexual. But if you're growing it from seed and enjoying all that great benefits of growing it yourself, you may want to plant 2 or 3 trees kind of in close proximity just to cover yourself. And just like in other trees that have the same format, you will not be able to tell if they are male, female, or bisexual until they actually bloom. So plant several trees out. or go buy a grafted tree. All right, you're going to hear folks say, well, don't bother planting it, it won't come true. And come true just means it's not going to be an exact clone of the parent plant. Excuse me. And you know, they're right. It might not be an exact clone. It could be better. It could be similar, or it could not be as good. But here's the thing. Step back for just a moment and look at the big picture here. You're planting a tree that can give you shade, help to oxygenate the planet, helps with controlling your ambient temperature, provides places for the wildlife, the birds, and you can use it as a specimen piece and plant around it. Now, some trees, not all, but some, and please do your research, can have edible and medicinal leaves and bark. So there's lots of great things that the trees can provide other than just a piece of fruit. So look at it that way. And then if you get fruit, well, that's just like the icing on the cake. Really nice. So those are just a few things to think about. I personally want to plant every seed I can. I want to grow out every seedling that I can. And one more thing about seedlings. According to a Dr. Campbell, who works with the University of Florida Agricultural Extension Agency, seedlings are normally, not always, but normally stronger and more vigorous, more pest resistant, more insect disease resistant than their grafted cousins. So you can grow out a seedling. When it gets large enough, you can graft on that rootstock. Use it as rootstock and get you some good cuttings or scions from a fruit-producing rambutan and graft it on. And then in a year or two, you'll have fruit on a very strong, vigorous rootstock. What else could you ask for? You get the pleasure of watching it grow. Great for the planet, great for us, great for the wildlife. I hope this is something that you can grow in your landscape. Rambutan. Hairy balls. Talk to you later. Have a fantastic day.